Hey there, welcome to a 4-Minute Friday, and this week's sales tip is all about your sales process and how an improvement in your process can give you exponential improvements in the quality of the way you sell and ultimately the results you have, and therefore the amount of business you close and therefore your top line and so on and so forth. You get the idea. So first of all, my name is Brian Conway from achievesuccess.co.uk, and this is, as I said, 4-Minute Friday, where I usually share a tip, strategy or tactic around sales or marketing to help you close more sales. Now, as I said, this week, sales process. That's what I want to talk about, your sales process. And as I said, if you have one, because I found with a lot of the clients that I work with, and actually some research I've been doing around this recently, that a lot of businesses don't have any formal sales process. They leave the sales process to their sales reps. And what that gives you is a team of individuals who are just doing their own thing. Now, you might kind of leave them alone and assume it's okay because it's kind of good enough, but good enough will only ever help you get by. It will never help you get ahead. So my advice is that you actually have a formal sales process, a step-by-step plan almost that each of your salespeople, or if you don't have any salespeople, that you yourself, if you run your own business, actually follows. Because if you've got a step-by-step plan, then you can measure what's happening at each step and you can optimize each step, which significantly increases your overall performance. When you add just a percentage improvement at each step of the process, you get this exponential, this compounding effect, which has a significant impact at the end of the sale process when you're closing business, and therefore the amount of revenue you generate. So what I would suggest you do, here's the tip, is if you've got a sales team, is actually get them each to document the process that they follow. Then you can look at who is the top performer and perhaps take their process and then teach that to the rest of the organization. I mean, it makes life so much easier for you when you've got one process and you can train everybody to do that one thing, knowing it is the best performing process that's been proven by the performance of your, as I said, your best performing salesperson. Now that also helps when you're onboarding and bringing new people into your business, because now you can teach them the process and you can monitor and measure and manage each of them then, because you've got a process that you can follow and a process that you can measure. And what happens then is you'll get them performing faster, which means that you start to see revenue sooner, which obviously grows your top line quicker, and so you get the idea. But have a process. So sit down today and think yourself, what is the process you would go through if you're selling and you take your clients on the purchasing journey with you. Now, it may be as simple as I get a lead, I make a phone call, I send them a quote, I follow up, I close. All right, that's fine. At least you can measure what's happened at each of those steps. Maybe within there's other things you do. Perhaps you have to book appointments, you have to do home visits, perhaps you have to do demos, perhaps you have to run a pilot of some sort, depending on the process, service or product that you provide. But document it and work out what it is and look at what are the closing percentages at each stage. Because closing isn't just about closing the deal. Closing is about moving the customer through that process and closing each segment. And you can measure and manage that. And I promise you, when you start doing that, you'll see a significant improvement in your sales and ultimately the top line of your business. Do it. That's all for today. Thanks for your time. Have a great weekend. More importantly, I'll be interested to see how next week a defined process helps your business close more sales. I'm Brian Conway. This has been 4-Minute Friday. Take care.